The Eagles are just devouring the Giants. And it is A.J. Brown again! Another touchdown!
Welcome back, Eagles fans. It's
What's
the Linc
happening?
Lineup. It's the Linc Lineup. We're back for a special pre-draft episode that we're going to post tonight because I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to post it as soon as we wrap this up. Got some things to talk about as far as Eagles news, and then after that, we're just going to talk nothing but the draft. Before we get started, if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Leave a nice comment. Tell a friend about us if you like us. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast from, follow us, like us, subscribe us. Whatever you do on that specific platform, do that. And if you're able to leave a rating, please give us a 5-star review. We would appreciate it very, very much. But yeah, so I guess the first thing we'll talk about is we'll do an announcement. We are going to do, if you haven't been here for a minute, we are going to do a live draft show Thursday night for sure, and I'll be here for sure Friday night. Saturday, I can't do it. Duty calls, but we will recap Saturday's 4, 5, 6, 7th round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Now that I think about it, that is correct. We will recap that. So
If anything, I'm going to try to do at least the 4th round on Saturday.
There you go. But regardless, you'll have all your Eagles draft coverage here. If you want to hang out with us, we'll be playing games, we'll be having fun. There will be some giveaway or 2 or 3 or 4.
We're gonna at some point be a little upset.
Yep, but we can do it together. One of the things that I'll be giving away is my Nakobe Dean signed football card because that thing is useless. So I'm gonna give it to somebody who might appreciate it more than me. But yeah, so here we are. That's it. That's all I have. So Thursday around 7:30 Eastern time, we will start. The draft will start till 8 Eastern on Thursday. Friday, the draft starts at 7 Eastern, so we'll try to be here at 6:30. Whether it's just me or we'll be here. We'll be here. Don't worry. But just like I said, come hang out. We're going to try to get on all of our socials, so Twitter, Instagram Live, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you see us at, we will be there. But yeah, so first things first, Isaiah Rodgers Sr. got reinstated today.
Welcome back, King.
Welcome back. This is cool because, for a second there, we didn't know if he was going to get reinstated because everybody else got reinstated last week. So we didn't know what was happening to him because, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he bet on the Colts? I think he bet on his team. So I think.
So I listened to it's a podcast that I think Colts linebacker Zaire Franklin has. He was talking with Isaiah about it. Isaiah was on his show, and Zaire. To be fair, in my opinion, this is kind of a fucked up question to ask somebody that about their situation because you would think the league wouldn't really want them to talk about what happened. But he talked about it. He said during the time that all this investigation stuff was going on, sports betting wasn't near as big as it is now. And in Florida, it wasn't legal at the time. So he said he was just placing bets and stuff for a lot of his friends back home. Whether that's true or not, who knows? That's up for your own discussion or debate. But it's what he said was going on.
Yeah, I know he bet at the facility too. I think that was a big one as well. So you don't want that, especially because betting is now more popular than ever. You don't want anybody getting suspicious that maybe games are fixed. So the commish handed out some suspensions, and we didn't know if he's going to come back. But he's back, and he's excited. It looks like he's been ready. He's trying to stay in shape. The biggest thing here is this shouldn't change the Eagles' draft strategy going forward. I think that Isaiah Rodgers is right now, he's a low risk, high reward guy because he's on I believe it's like a 1 year, $1 million contract at this point. So if he wins the starting job, he'll get extended right away, more than likely. But I know a lot of us thought he was a slot cornerback guy. He's not. He's that outside corner. So he will compete with Keely Ringo, James Bradbury, hell, even Darius Slay at this point. But Elliot Shore Parks tweeted out something that I found interesting. In 2022, per PFF, he was the 5th best overall cornerback and the 6th best cornerback in coverage. That is minimum of 20% of defensive snaps played. So I don't know how many snaps he played that year, but I mean, he's shown some promise. So to be determined if he will show that for the Birds. Anything about Isaiah Rodgers that you want to talk about before we move on?
So I've always liked his game. Watching the Colts, them being like the local team to me here in Kentucky, they get played a lot on TV. So I've watched a little bit of him. I watched enough of him to know that he's got a lot of versatility to himself. He can play inside and can play out. But like Chase said, he's more of an outside corner. Actually returned punts for a little bit for the Colts. Had a punt return touchdown. I believe a kick return touchdown too, maybe. But obviously that's not something we're really worried about with Britton Covey's resurgence coming on and him turning into a pretty good punt returner. But I just like the it's more depth to your secondary, adding pieces that has played in this league. To me, excelled in this league at that position. Being in the secondary that he was from with the Colts, there wasn't a lot of standout guys at the time when he was playing. So I like Isaiah Rodgers a lot. We definitely could have used him last year, but with all this going on, all his personal issues going on, wasn't able to join us. But I'm happy to have him this year.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure. How old is he? 24, 25?
Yeah.
So he's 25. He's 5'10", 176.
He's practically the same age as guys coming out this year. There's a couple guys that are the same age as him.
Yeah, so I mean, he's there to compete, and if he competes, awesome. If he wins, even better. My thing is, don't put so much hope and faith in him, because there's always a chance that you've been out of the game for so long, you will be rusty. But luckily, he's able to join the team right away, and get to work with the guys. So, be fun. It'll be fun. I'm interested to see what he does and what he brings. Can't be any worse than what we had last year.
No,
what can I say about that?
Not at all.
And I know you mentioned Britton Covey, but he comes back just in time for the new kickoff rules. So we'll see what he can do with the ball in his hands. But it's a draft show. We're going to talk about the draft now.
Let's go, man.
So I actually had a question for you, and we can talk about this a little bit. So I was thinking today, I was thinking about past drafts, and who is somebody that you were sold on was going to be a stud and just turned out to be a complete dud?
So are we saying complete dud or like underachieved our own personal expectations, or just like a complete fucking failure?
Same thing. It all falls in the same category.
So this is going to pain me a lot to say, because I love him so much.
I wonder if they're the same person. No, maybe. I don't know. Go for it. Sorry.
Mine would be Jordan Davis, just because he's kind of he hasn't been able to play at a high level for a full year. I'm not going to hold it against him his rookie year because the kid was playing phenomenal at the beginning of the year and he got hurt and wasn't really the same when he came back. To be fair, though, he started out the same way this year. Started absolutely phenomenal, came out hot, fizzled off towards the end of the year. And another thing was the entire defense fucking fizzled off last year. So, I mean, you can't just hold it on one person. But the expectations with him was he's going to be able to come in and solidify the defensive line and give you confidence that you can be confident in him being able to take over for Fletcher Cox and be a 3-down lineman in this league. He just really hasn't shown you that yet. Who knows? Maybe this year somebody's kicked him in the ass and told him he needs to get in better shape and get better condition. I have a lot of high hopes for him, and he's been kind of underwhelming at this point.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you somebody that's not on the Eagles. That was a favorite of mine coming out of college, and then I'll give you an Eagles guy. So around draft time every year, this guy gets brought up in our little Philadelphia fan club chat we have on Snapchat. This guy's a safety. I forgot what college he came from, but
Delaware.
Nazir Adderley was my guy. Was absolutely my guy. I'd still take him today. But he didn't pan out the way I thought he would, and
Actually,
it's okay. Yeah, he's done. He said I'm tired of football. But that was my guy. I loved him. I fell in love with him, and then the Chargers got him, and then he did nothing. But that's okay.
To be fair, okay, if you were going to go that route, I think it was just current Eagle. Mine was Sidney Jones, actually.
Okay, great segue because that was mine.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So Sidney Jones, I remember him. So he came from Washington. For those of you keeping score at home and can't remember him, I think he came the year we went to the Super Bowl. So the 2017 draft. No, yeah, he was.
He was the year before. Oh, the year after.
No, he was on the Super Bowl team.
Sidney Jones was on the Super Bowl team?
I'm 99% sure he was because he got activated against the Cowboys and didn't play the playoffs at all. I'll look it up real quick.
Okay, that might be right then.
But Sidney Jones, fantastic cornerback in college. And then he tore his Achilles right on his pro day.
Yeah. Sad
unfortunate
sight to see, dude.
Because he was definitely he was Super Bowl champion, so he was with us. He got picked up in the 2017 draft. So he tore his Achilles. He was solid. I think he's going to go first round.
He was. A lot of people thought he was going to be the first corner off the board.
Yeah. And we picked him, and I was pumped. We picked him in the second round. And I was like, it's cool. It's a redshirt year. I'm excited because he was great. He was great in college, and he was probably one of my favorite prospects going into the draft. And we drafted him. He came back at the end of that year, played a little bit, got some run. Wasn't bad, and then it was bad. It was really bad. He had soft tissue problems, so like his hamstring would always hurt. He'd get cooked, and then next thing you see him, limping because he got cooked or he was hurt. And it was sad because I loved him, and he was like a taller, lankier cornerback.
I feel like he had he showed flashes at some point though that he could be a good player.
Yeah,
there's just times that he just was not. I don't know.
Yeah, well, then a running back would come his way, and he would just give him a nice little shoulder, and then just bounce all right off of him. So that was my pick.
Can I throw in one that the fan base had high hopes for, and I never really saw it?
Jalen Reagor,
Kayvon Wallace.
Oh yeah, that was sad. But to be fair, Kayvon came from Clemson, just like Brian Dawkins, and then everybody threw that tag on him. Next Brian Dawkins.
Because he like played with an attitude.
He ran away with it though. He did run away with it, and so he took it. He owned it. So
to be fair, he played well this year for Arizona, and I think he went to Tennessee at one point.
I think so.
Yeah, he played well for those two teams this year for some reason.
You know,
maybe
some
he
people
just wasn't getting enough burn. Maybe he wasn't getting enough time, getting enough reps.
Well, you know, people need a fresh start, and I mean, I don't think anything he could have done would have saved how we felt about him because we all disliked him. Funny story about that. I don't know if I've told it on this show. I might have told it on a previous podcast, but I was working at the restaurant, and this guy comes in decked out in Eagles gear, and I'm like, "Are you a fan?" He said no. I was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "Yeah, my client plays for him." I was like, "Oh, maybe I can get an autograph. Who is this guy?" I was like, "So who is he?" And he was like, "Kayvon Wallace." I was like, "Oh shit." I was like, "All right,
I don't want that autograph.
this conversation is over." But I was talking to him, and the guy was an asshole. He was like,
Really?
he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Go make my food." And I was like, "Oh, buddy." I was like, "I'll whoop your ass." But, you know, people. That's why you represent shitty players, and that's why your job will never take off. So keep on taking the hand-me-down clothes that your players are giving you because you're never going to make it, pal. So yeah. But let's get to the draft. So a report just came out, and you know about this one now, that the Eagles' preferred target in round 1 is Quinion Mitchell from Toledo. That'd be exciting. That would be great. I'd be happy. A dub, some people would say, all around for me. Why are you making that face for?
I don't know, man. Maybe I just haven't. I've watched a lot of his film and I've watched a lot of his tape. So I was talking to a buddy of mine at work today, specifically about the corners. He's a massive Giants fan, by the way. Actually listens to our podcast on the regular.
Cool. Giants are still us.
Hey, Dustin, we'll shout you out. But anyways, I was talking to him about it, and I was actually listening to the Inside the Birds podcast this morning, and they specifically were highlighting corners. So like the main knock on Quinion is he doesn't play man coverage very well, but that's also because he wasn't asked to play man coverage a lot. And what I think it was Greg Cosell was talking about it today. It's hard to evaluate any corner coming out of college anymore because there's not a lot of defenses in the country that play man coverage. That's just, you don't see a lot of them. And the only places that you will see them, it being played is in the SEC, which is why a lot of people in the fan base and our fan base and around the league like Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terrion Arnold because they've seen them play zone coverage and man coverage, and it was able to display their talents all around. I like Quinion. It just kind of scares me that maybe he is not a good man corner, but everything about his size, weight, and speed should tell you that he should be able to play man coverage, but you've just never really seen him do it before in his like techniques.
Yeah. I covered him.
I also, let me throw this in there. I also think it's good for us because Vic Fangio doesn't run a lot of man coverage anyways.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. I covered him in my mock draft. I'm going to release another one tomorrow. If I'm going to try my hardest to do it, but that's why I said is, Vic Fangio runs mainly zone. So if he can't play man, it won't be an issue in this defense. But overall, the guy's fast. He's fast as hell. He's ran a 4.33.
How
And
tall
then
is he over 6 foot? I can't remember.
I think he is 6 foot, if I'm not mistaken. I will look that up real quick. But he's there where the ball is. He's there. He's going to get there. So he's always around there. He doesn't get the interceptions, but he gets pass breakups. The interceptions will come at some point. Actually, write it down.
I was reading a lot on his like his scouting report, which is weird to me because he had for somebody to have 4 interceptions in a game, 2 of them being pick sixes. You would think their ball skills would be really, really good. Like their ball skills, they'll be able to play onto the ball. His is not for some reason, which is kind of weird. Which is one of his knocks. He does not have very good ball skills when it comes to jumping. Well, when it comes to jumping a route or something, his read and react second to none. Like there's not really anybody in this class that reads and react like he does. But it's just weird to me for somebody to have the decent amount of interceptions that they've had in their career to not have very good ball skills, which kind of confuses me as somebody who scouts a lot, I guess, like in my own personal time, because you don't really see that a lot in some scouting reports. Somebody not have good ball skills, but they tend to have decent interception numbers.
Yeah. He's 6 foot 195. And what makes me think he'll get the interceptions is because he will jump routes. Yeah, at some point that will pay off unless you just have concrete for hands, which I'm hoping you get in the lab. You
get on the jugs machine.
you practice catching. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it does not. But I mean, he's going to be great. He's going to be great. But
if you could throw out a pro comp for him right now, where would you throw it? Who does he remind you of in the league?
6 foot 195. Couldn't tell you right now.
I had one in mind, but I think he's a better man corner than Quinion is. But
who do you have?
I was going to say like a prime Xavier Howard, which he's a little bit bigger than X was.
Well, if you want to know what NFL.com said, they said Steven Nelson. Eagles fans are familiar with him. I think it's more so his play style.
Whoa, we're talking about a Steven Nelson in the first round. What are we doing?
I don't think it's based on like
that's
what
the
they
best
think.
corner in this draft.
I don't think they're talking about what he could be. I think it's more so like his physical, like his size and like the way he plays, not how he plays.
Well, if he plays like Steven Nelson, I don't want any fucking part of it.
Hold on. Let me pull up. Marvin Harrison.
Somebody pull up a different one.
Yeah, I got you. Because I chuckled.
I'll talk a little bit about him. Just from what I've watched against him and like his game tapes. So our problem was last year, we had a lot of missed tackles. He's not scared to tackle, but he is not one to wrap up in a tackle. He's definitely the kind of person that would throw arm tackles at people, which is fine as a corner. I mean, you're not drafting a corner to ask him to fucking tackle. You're asking him to make plays. And just being an Eagles fan, the stuff that we dealt with last year, wasn't really good to hear that on his scouting report, but I mean, you got to take everything with a grain of salt, and you got to everybody's going to have a negative. And as a corners aren't really known for tackling, but you would like to see him improve on his tackling.
It's not like he's not willing to do it. He just wants to pop somebody. He doesn't want to wrap them up. And
yeah.
That's something that can be taught. So I'm pulling up 3 other first round cornerback prospects, so we can see who they are compared to. So Nate Wiggins, is his NFL comparison is Tyson Campbell.
That's not bad. Tyson Campbell is good.
Kool-Aid is his NFL comparison is AJ Terrell.
That's pretty good.
And then Terrion Arnold is compared to Marshawn Lattimore. So
That's really good. And meanwhile, we're over here talking about Steven fucking Nelson as the number 1 corner in this league.
yeah. All right. Maybe we're not in love with him.
Maybe we need to rethink on what we're
that's crazy.
what people are considering the number 1 corner in this draft.
That's a crazy comparison, huh? I don't want Steven Nelson. He's solid, but I mean, it's not somebody I'd want my first round to change the fucking landscape of the franchise team. No. Yeah, you know. All right. Well, so before we hop into this this mock draft, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a mock draft, but we will eventually pick somebody for the Eagles. But we're going to go across like the targets that the Eagles should be, and are probably looking at during their picks. Yeah. So while we might pick up, a Nate Wiggins, we'll look at Tyler Guyton and whoever else may be available at that moment. But I wrote this down on my notes so I won't forget. So I want to have you rank these scenarios. There's 5 of them. Rank these scenarios from 5 being you are very upset, you're not going to finish the draft party. To 1 being
I'm here for the long haul.
You're here. You're happy. You're pumped. You're like, this is like Jalen Carter levels of excitement.
Okay.
All right. So, I'm gonna read them all 5. I'm gonna read all 5.
Can we make this into a game? Can I blindly rank these? Like not knowing what's coming next?
Yes, you can. And then we will actually discuss it. All right. So, stay at 22 and draft an edge.
I'm gonna give that a 3. I'm gonna sit there at 3 because that's one of my, in my mind, if you're not moving up or down, that's what you should do at 22. Like, forget everything else, any other position that's there at 22. In my mind, that needs to be an edge rusher. Me personally, I don't think we're deep enough at our pass rushers at all. And you're banking on Nolan Smith taking a leap that he needs to, and you're hoping Bryce Huff is the next Hassan Reddick, or perhaps even better.
And Josh Sweat doesn't put up a stinker like he did at the end of last year.
Right.
So, next up is stay and draft an O-line.
That's 5.
That's 5. All right. Stay and draft Coop, Wiggins, Kool-Aid.
That's 2.
All right. Move up and draft Arnold/Mitchell.
That's 1.
And then last but not least is move out of the first round.
That's 4. Yeah. I like that at 4 because it depends on which picks you're getting back for that. For one, we don't have a 3rd round pick anymore. That really upsets me because I think this draft class is so deep in itself. You can find some really good players in rounds 1 through, honestly, probably 5. You could find players that can contribute to your team next year.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I understand. I would be upset with your 4 and 5 would make me sad. Would make me cry. O-line, let me tell you something. O-line is going to make me not want to cover this team anymore or be a fan of this team. This podcast could come to an end at that moment.
Well, I mean, let's be real though. Can we just be real about it? It's not the worst fucking idea. I mean,
but it's the boring idea.
It's the boring
because he's not going to play.
Yeah, right. So let me ask you this: who would be, if that is the scenario they're going? Which of the tackles that's going to be there in that position would you want?
Well, obviously Tyler Guyton is going to be the guy that they're going to look at. I think so.
I think they might be kind of in. Okay, so the 2 guys I think they might be in. Well, I'll throw 3 in because I'll throw Tyler Guyton in. But the 3 guys I think they might be in love with: J.C. Latham from Alabama, Amarius Mims from Georgia.
Freak.
I would not be mad with Amarius Mims from Georgia. That is a mountain of a fucking man, dude.
That's a freak,
dude. He might be bigger than Jordan Davis. Like that is a mountain of a man who moves like a cat on his feet. It is incredible to watch his film. And J.C. Latham is just a guy who wants to beat your ass every play. And J.C. Latham is not a small man either.
Mims is 6'7", 340.
And moves like a cat.
Yeah.
That's not, I mean, that's something that I would not hate.
You're with Mims, you're looking at like a Jason Peters kind of guy. Just
a bodyguard.
Before Jason Peters became what he is now.
Right.
Shout out to you, Jason Peters. We love you still. You went to the Cowboys. We don't like you for that, but
I don't mind it.
We can't forget. We cannot forget what you did for those 10 plus years. I think it was 10 years. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was definitely 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, before we start the draft, I do want to read you this. So this is
you didn't tell me the one that you would want out of the the tackles that'd be there.
Oh, it was. Oh, sorry. Mims was definitely be there. I listened. I've watched. Just knowing that there's a guy out there that's big and can move, and having him on maybe the opposite side of Jordan Mailata once Lane Johnson's done, scary times in Philadelphia.
That's 2 twin towers on each side of you.
That's my guy.
What'd you think of the guy from Washington?
Well, I forgot.
Fatu something. I can't remember.
Fatanu.
Yeah.
Troy. I'm gonna call him Troy. I like him.
He's a smaller guy.
I'm trying to look at his.
I don't think he's small, but
he's 6'3", 317. So that's a lot different than 6'7", 340. But he's also super athletic. So that's what you want. That's what you want in this offense.
See, I seen stuff about him where they could possibly kick him into right guard. I wouldn't hate it if you take him for that. If you take him right there, I think he should definitely be kicked into right guard, and get him some type of NFL experience before you throw him into some type of tackle situation where he's going to be out there, particularly in an island by himself. And that's, to me, that's a little like Nass for a tackle. It coming from Lane Johnson, who, to be fair, Lane Johnson's not near as big as Amarius Mims is, but Lane Johnson is still a big human being and a very athletic human being. Troy, a little bit small. To me, he's got the makeup of a guard, but that's just me.
Well, so going back to what I was saying. So there's a beat writer for the Eagles. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want to give him any type of anything really. I don't want to acknowledge him, but I do want to acknowledge this draft. You tell me how excited or mad you would be at this draft. It looks like for the most part he stuck and he picked. So number 22, first round, Eagles select Tyler Guyton, tackle, Oklahoma.
I know who this is. I know what beat writer this is.
You know exactly who it is. So you probably saw this one.
I didn't see the full thing. I just seen that and I kept scrolling.
Yeah, I wanted to, but I like looking at his stuff sometimes because the comments they don't like him. Second round, number 50, we got Xavier Worthy. That's cool.
I mean, it is what it is.
53, we draft Brendan Coleman, lineman, TCU.
So we're going linemen in the first 3 picks. 2 linemen in the first 3 picks?
We are.
He's smoking dick, bro. What is he saying?
I don't know. 120, we go Marshawn Lloyd, running back, USC.
I don't hate it. I like Marshawn. But I don't like the previous 3 picks that he's thrown.
5th round, 161. I haven't heard this guy, so I wanted to look him up. Jalix Hunt from Edge.
Oh my God, from
Houston Christians.
Yeah. Fun fact about Jalix, he's a converted safety to an edge rusher.
Damn.
Yeah, that's and what was funny about it, if you go to the Bleacher Report community, there was a bunch of people talking about Jalen Hunt today, and there was this guy in there just advocating for him, fucking pushing for him. Yeah, we need to get him. We need to get him. He's a converted safety to an edge rusher. The immediately comment after that was like, "Have you watched his fucking tape, dude?" Like this, they're like, he needs to go undrafted. Like it's not even good.
He has 13.
That's the little I know about him.
He has 13 and a half sacks the last 2 seasons. It's just hard to process safety going to edge rusher. I know that the edge rushers nowadays aren't, what they used to be, but good God, that's crazy. Usually
they couldn't find anywhere else where you on the field.
You go from safety to linebacker, typically, not safety, skip linebacker to edge rusher. You don't do that.
Hand in the dirt.
Yeah. That's like a linebacker going to D tackle.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a major jump that just don't happen a lot.
Doesn't. At 172, so just one pick later, in the 5th round, he has us selecting Johnny Wilson, wide receiver, Florida State.
That's your guy.
And then 6th round at 210, he has us picking Jarian Jones, cornerback, Florida State. Which, if you look at his what this guy said, he said has played both.
All right, let's just say his fucking name so people can know who this is.
ESP.
Yeah. This is Elliott Shore-Parks. For anybody who doesn't follow the Eagles beat writers too much, this is the most hated beat writer, and I think of all the NFL, to be honest. If you are a fan of Philly sports, this guy once said that he was not sold on Joel Embiid and that they should have took Noah Vonleh over Joel Embiid.
You know who picked Noah Vonleh? The Hornets did.
Yeah.
The Hornets did. We did.
Avid Hornets fan over here. Just massive Hornets fan. They took Noah Vonleh, but that's one of the wild things from Elliott Shore-Parks.
Yeah. Well, here's what he said. He has played both in the slot and outside, but is considered too slow for the outside and had his best year at slot. So he's slow. Quick. I don't know what the saying.
Let's draft a slow cornerback. Slow feet don't eat.
Yeah. So, that's not my cup of tea. I'm not here for it. I'm not. But with all that being said, let's move on to the mock draft.
Let's see if we can do a little bit better.
We're not trading up. I will say, however, there is, if you know Howie, you've been here long enough, there is a good possibility we'll move up. And notably the one that everybody thinks is going to be Seattle's pick. So
some talks with Denver's pick at 12 now.
Well, Denver needs all the help they can get.
But to be fair, I could see the reasoning behind the Denver pick because they don't. If I'm not mistaken, they're just now getting a lot of their own picks back from the previous Russell Wilson trade, and they're in need for a quarterback, but they just traded for Zach Wilson today. And if they can't get their guy that they're in love with, they may trade back and stockpile some picks.
Yeah. So I can't believe that was what they did. But anyway, for this exercise, we're sticking and picking. So let me pull this up for the people watching on YouTube. For those of you who are listening on Spotify, whatever, wherever, just know it's okay. We got you covered. So we're gonna move this out of the way. We're gonna drop here. So right now, let's look at the couple picks before us. So Queen Mitchell got picked 13th. I don't think we're going to trade up to 13th. I don't think it's going to happen. Terry Arnold also got picked
at 11. Wow.
11. So cornerback started flying off the board kind of quick. For the edge people, Jared Verse just got picked at 21, and then Chop got picked at 19. So for those of you who are team edge, just know we see you, we hear you.
And I believe Latu went a little bit earlier in the draft too on this.
He
12th.
Oh, I was like, I know he's there because he would pop up on the right side. But yeah, so that's another edge rusher gone. So we're sitting here. According to Pro Football Network, the top 6 players available right now for the Birds is Brian Thomas Jr. Not going to happen. I don't think that's not going to happen in this situation. Johnny Newton could. It'd probably be an unpopular pick, just because we have a lot of D tackles. I feel like, but it could happen. So now we're going to be switching to a 3-4. Byron Murphy, your guy, is there. Nate Wiggins, my guy. We got Coop and Kool-Aid. Is there anybody else that you would consider here at 22?
Definitely Jackson Powers Johnson would intrigue me. But that being said, we talked about this before this. We took an offensive lineman. We're probably going to be a little bit upset. If it's not Amarius Mims or J.C. Latham, I'd be a little bit upset about it. But that's neither
if it's Tyler Guyton, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah.
I don't want him. No offense. Also, if we pick you, just covering my ass right now. If we pick you, you trying to be a stud or Hall of Famer, just disregard this, okay?
Yeah, I love you.
You're the greatest. You're the greatest to ever do it. But so my guy here, this pick is gonna be Nate Wiggins. If Nate Wiggins is there,
I need you to sell me on this Nate Wiggins.
I've just been watching him play. I know that. Fun fact, I think if you actually go back a couple episodes, you will hear me say I don't want him because Emmanuel Forbes. But
that's the knock on him right now. That's what's going on.
But he's not going to be Emmanuel Forbes. I think
to be fair, he's a much better prospect than what Emmanuel Forbes was.
Yeah, I think height, weight, speed. He's missing the weight part for sure, but he's got the other two. Right? He's got the other two. He's great in coverage. He also makes plays on the ball where he actually catches it and takes it the other way. I just like his size. I think he's going to be better than Coop is. Kool-Aid might be better maybe in the long run, but I like Nate. I like Nate, man. It's like the Slim Reaper on the other side of the ball. His knocks are basically tackling and his weight. But everything else,
you don't ask a lot for a corner.
Yeah, because we've dealt with Darius Slay the past couple of years, and let me tell you something: he's not the most willing tackler. Last year he did step it up. I'll give you props. But I mean, Nate Wiggins could step it up too. But it seems like a lot of the cornerbacks in this year's class, they also don't like tackling, which nobody likes tackling, especially because running backs are a lot bigger than you think they are.
Besides, I think Cooper DeJean, he can tackle, but that's neither here nor there. That's the grit and the grind in the kid.
Yeah.
We ain't going to go there. This is a family-friendly podcast. I'm not even going to talk about it. If this was okay, we're just going to – I respect the Nate Wiggins pick. I like it. If he didn't pull his fucking hamstring at the combine, he probably would have ran a 4.2. And that entices a lot of people. I think he played very well at Clemson. To me, if this is the board that we got right now sitting here, I love Byron Murphy to death, but I'm starting to lean more towards the secondary help. Like, that is our absolute need. We have to get younger. And if it's a toss-up between Kool-Aid and Coop for me. A lot of people say Coop is stiff. He's got stiff hips. From what I watched of him, though, he is I think he is just such a weapon on defense. I think he's going to be a corner at the next level. A lot of people look, they even already have him as a safety in this, but To me, he's a corner, and he's actually a converted receiver. I didn't know that for the longest time. He's a converted receiver. Was actually, I'm pretty sure, a damn quarterback in high school. An excellent basketball player, by the way. So this kid is an all-around fucking athlete. This kid can do everything. I just like the upside of Cooper DeJean on this board than Nate Wiggins and Kool-Aid.
I laugh at myself because I avoid saying his whole name because I know it's DeJean, but I can't help but think DeJean. And I don't want to sound like a damn fool.
If he comes to Philly, that's what it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be DeJean.
DeJean. Yeah. All right. But so I would lean secondary as well, just because secondary is a very top heavy class this year. I think once you get past that second round, you're going to see tremendous fall off. So you got to go cornerback here, unless the Eagles somehow just believe in what they have. So are you entertaining Kool-Aid at this spot?
Yes. In my mind, yes.
All right.
To me, Kool-Aid is the best man-to-man cover corner in this draft.
But we don't run a lot of man-to-man in our defense.
Right.
So,
but I think just the sheer talent of Kool-Aid at corner, whether that be because I can't remember what he ran on his pro day. It was like a 4.4, I think. He's quick enough. He's fast enough. Kool-Aid's biggest knock is his fucking tackling. We've preached about it on this whole fucking show. Nobody in this draft class likes to tackle. Nobody.
Not one person.
Besides Cooper. But
obvious reasons.
That's the grit and the grind of the kid.
Yeah.
Just that, I mean, if you watched any Alabama games, Kool-Aid shuts off a completely side of the field. And it doesn't help that Terrion Arnold's on the other side. So there wasn't a lot of passes going on. There wasn't a lot of completions against the Alabama secondary this past year. I mean, they just they played really, really well, especially towards the end of the year when they got to started clicking and figuring it out. And I just think that's the sheer ability of both the Alabama corners.
So realistically, yeah, this is how the draft ended up. I could see Howie trading back a pick or two, maybe trying to get that third round pick. But for this exercise, I'm gonna let you pick the first round. I'll pick. We'll alternate our picks. So are you going to go with Coop on this pick?
Yeah, I love you, Kool-Aid, but I just I think Coop is going to be a really good player.
All right, so the Eagles' first pick is Coop.
I've just seen a lot of good people go off the board.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. Edge gone.
That hurt.
TJ Tampa's gone for those of you.
That hurt.
Isaac from Penn State's gone. Darius Robinson's gone. Max Belton's gone. Tyler Newbin gone. Cameron Kitchens is gone. That's awkward. Leggette's gone. Chris, I don't want to do this anymore. Bo Nix went to the Raiders. Shout out to you, Kendall. That's your guy. You got him in the second round. Congratulations. And then Troy Franklin, Jalen Polk went at 48-49. So here's where you kind of this is funky, right? This is a weird spot for the Eagles to be in, because instantly my head's going to go to Cooper BB, just because we need a guard. I think that the guard is, at least on the line, is our weakest spot. However, you can't ignore Ladd McConkey's here. Some people will classify him as just a slot guy. I don't think he's just a slot guy. I think he's a great motion guy. You get him moving. The same thing you envision with Devontae.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah,
like a white corner and a white receiver.
That'd be. Oh man. Hey, oh yeah. A lot of grit and grind on that team instantly.
Like we know, we automatically know who's coming in early and who's staying late.
But let's also not forget that Jackson Powers Johnson's here somehow, some way. He's still here at 50. So the flashiness in me definitely wants to go skill position, but I know deep down it can't be. Some other people I'm considering is Michael Hall Jr. from Ohio State, and that's about it right now. Peyton Wilson's down there. We need a linebacker. This is where we need a linebacker, and these two picks.
And if I could put my 2 cents in on this one, because I'm going to let you take these 2 picks because just for the second round. If this was me, I would be drafting Ladd McConkey and then hoping and praying Peyton Wilson or Junior Colson is there at 53. I am turning into an advocate for Junior Colson by the hour.
Yeah, I know you are. But if we do that, what's the story on Jackson Powers Johnson? Why is he dropping so far? What's going on? Did he get caught smoking from a bong? Is he like what's he doing?
If he got caught smoking from a bong, let's be fair here. The last person that done that's turned into an all-pro tackle.
He turned out all right. No complaints over there. It's tough. It's tough. Tough spot to be in. I kind of do want to go Ladd McConkey though, because just getting him out in space with Smitty.
And I am so sick of just having the incompetence at the third receiver position. I'm sick of it, dude.
This will solidify it. I think that Ladd McConkey, he has a decently high ceiling, but it's not as high as others. But his floor is way up there. Like I think that he's going to be a solid contributor right away. So we'll go Ladd. Peyton Wilson just got drafted to the Broncos, and then Malachi Corley went to the Steelers.
He's growing on me.
I want him, but we can't have him. That's the draft said no. So here is where I think we might have to. I'm putting in air quotes. Reach. I think we might have to reach. Because linebackers are flying off the board. Me personally, I don't want to be stuck with Jeremiah Trott Jr. Love your dad. Don't know what you'll be. I just can't have Nakobe Dean and you lining up side by side. I can't do it. So I think I'll let you talk about him a little bit more because you've dug a lot deeper than I have. But we'll talk about Junior Colson because that's going to be my pick. But I'll let you go in detail why you like him so much.
So with Junior Colson, one of the biggest things that I've grown to love about him is, for one, his work ethic and his mindset. So dealing with these past couple of years as an Eagles fan, especially last year, we had a lot of incompetence at the linebacker position due to injuries. Junior Colson has never missed a game. He came in as a freshman. He's played 43. He's played in every game since he was a freshman. Played 43 games. Has started 36 of them. I was listening to him in an interview, and Chase, you tell me if this screams the Philly mindset, Philly culture to me. He said in an interview, unless I cannot physically move my legs or I am taking my last breath, I'm going to be on the field.
That's a guy right there.
Motherfucker sold me. I was like, boom, need it right there.
That's a guy.
He was the signal caller. He was the Mike linebacker for the Michigan defense, one of the best defenses in the country, one of the most pro-style defenses in the country at Michigan. About 6'2", 6'3", around there, 6'2.5" probably, about 240. Bigger guy, has excellent closing speed when it comes to reacting on a ball carrier. Plays like an absolute fucking maniac on the field. And he plays with a lot of fire, a lot of passion. And he's gotten so, like, you know how we talk about Josh Sweat as taking a step every year that he's played. He's done that every single year from his freshman year to now him being a junior. He's gotten a massive amount better these past 2 years in college. And to me, he's your ideal Mike linebacker. He's jumped up my linebacker rankings to probably 1A, 1B with Edgerrin Cooper. I think Edge is your kind of consensus number one, but I think people will look over Junior Colson a lot. I think Junior Colson's actually much better in coverage than Edgerrin Cooper is. Edgerrin Cooper wasn't asked to play in coverage a whole lot, but he played the times he was playing, he played well. But I think Junior Colson has a lot more upside than Edgerrin Cooper does. And Junior Colson just seems like the true Mike linebacker.
So we're going to go Junior Colson. Just to make note, on this particular mock draft, the Broncos did move up to pick Peyton Wilson. So if this is for realistic, the linebackers would be flying off the board at this point. If you can't get your guy, you better get him. So we're going to get Junior Colson. Now, realistically, we're not waiting 60-ish, 70-ish picks until the next pick. How he's going to make something happen. I don't think this is how it's going to be come draft night, but here we are. So this is you. This is all you. I see somebody that I'm interested in Jared Wiley, tight end, TCU. But I'll let you take it away. There's also Jalix Hunt right there if you want to go ahead and dip your toes in that one.
The converted safety. So right now the name that stands off to me, I ain't even got a damn scouting report on the kid. But the name that stands up to me, scroll back to the top, it's definitely Jared Wiley. The three that I'm seeing right now, Dwayne Carter from Duke, to me, kind of a more underrated defensive tackle prospect. Not a lot of people really talk about him enough. Audric Estime and Jared Wiley. I think Audric Estime would be great behind Saquon Barkley. But to me, this might be a little bit high for, I think, us to be drafting a running back. I'd like to see us maybe dip into the later rounds because to me, the running back class altogether is just not that great. We've said it before. I'll stand by it.
There could be some diamond in the rough, though.
It definitely could. But to me, I think this pick would definitely – it could send Howie Roseman back to his roots and back to what he's been doing. It would always be build through your line, build through your trenches. And I think Dwayne Carter would be a good pick for the Birds. And Austin Booker as well, too, from Kansas. But I don't know.
So is there anybody within these picks right here that you would be interested in the Eagles targeting?
Definitely Zach Zenter. Coming off a pretty gruesome leg injury, but to be fair, that guy was one of the best offensive linemen, period, in college football last year. To me, he would have filled right in at right guard and probably been your day one starter. What about you?
I liked Kalen King for a while. But he's dropped so much. He went from being like a potential first round prospect to where we at, fourth round. I still think there's something in there, but we already drafted a corner and we have too many young corners at this point. But I like where the Eagles would be at this point. With Dwayne Carter, you also have that insurance that if Milton Williams doesn't come back, you have his replacement. That'd make you sad. That'd make me sad. That'd make everybody sad. And then like if somebody were to go down, you could plug and play him into their role. He's 6'2", 303, so he's not as big as Jordan Davis, but he's capable. He's a big guy. He can eat. So we'll go Dwayne Carter from from Duke. So now we're waiting from 10, what was it, 104 or something like that to 161. So here's where it gets tricky because the later guys, I'm not there just yet. So you're probably going to backpack us the rest of the way. I've seen a lot of people's names, but I haven't really dug too deep into them. I know Luke McCaffrey's here. I know a lot of mock drafts have us picking him, but I don't think picking Lad and Luke would be a fantastic draft because we would have way too many whites at this point. Too many whites are being added to the team. Can't have that. We need athletes. And so who do you see here that intrigues you?
Kitten, Catan, Oladipo stands out.
What the hell is he? Oh, got it.
I've seen him mocked to us a couple times. I actually don't know too much about him. I know he had a pretty decent year for Oregon State. That Oregon State team kind of, to me, overachieved last year. I wasn't really expecting them to be as good as they were. To be fair, they didn't. I'm sure they didn't finish where they wanted, but to me, they played above their standards and what was expected of them. Luke McCaffrey, like you talked about, obviously, I think Luke is kind of a diamond in the rough receiver in this draft class. Jonah Ellis, he stands out, but I don't know. He's, like you said, man. This is where you this is kind of where you make your money when it comes to the draft. Being able to find talent down here.
So for us, obviously, we can't do this full time. So like when it gets down to right here, we're going to know some, not all. So this is prime time. The Eagles pick them, we evaluate them, and then we come back to you. But I still know a lot of these names. We need an edge rusher. Jonah Ellis could help us out there. At one point, we didn't need a wide receiver, but we already took that. We got a D tackle already. We got a safety. I think safety would be a good pick here. Every time I see his name, I think it's Oladipo. But it's not. So I'm willing to go safety here.
Right.
So we'll go there, and then we'll see where the wind takes us. So Luke's still there. Luke is still there.
I think that might be just a sign that you go ahead and take him.
All right, we're gonna make somebody happy out there. We'll take Luke McCaffrey here. I think Luke will be. I think that he is one of those guys that could start out slow, and then eventually blossom into something beautiful.
Right.
I think that if he has even an ounce of what Christian has, he could be great. Now we're picking back to back, so this doesn't really help us out here. I don't know anything about Eric All. I don't know if you do or not. But
I don't know a lot about him.
He's a tight end from Iowa. That's Iowa. That's tight end U right there. We could use a tight end, but there's also a chance that we don't pick him. Isn't this a guy right here?
Oh, that's a guy. That is
a
guy.
He's raw though, right? He's kind of.
That's a small as fuck for an edge rusher, 6'1".
This
motherfucker plays with a motor though.
I think we go with Muhammad Kamara here. Yeah, I think that'd be a steal because I don't know why he's ranked so low, but we'll take him. And then now 210. I think this is the last pick. I think this one is prime time
for Dalen Holker.
Yeah, we're going tight end here. Back to back Colorado State. The Eagles are now the home of the Rams, right? Is that there? Yeah. So we will complete our draft. We'll go over it again with you, especially for the people that are listening. And then we'll kind of talk about how we feel about it. first thing that stands off the board, white people. We have and white people in skill positions. Not your typical whites in the line, the big cornbread fed guys. It's skill position whites, and you know,
the biggest thing that stands out to me, we actually decided not to draft a single offensive lineman in this. That's not a Howie Roseman thing to do at all.
It's not. It's not.
Good thing we are not Howie Roseman.
Yes. So this is
if this was the draft that we left with, I'd be happy. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think you hit on a lot of these. I think you walk out with a smile on your face. Day one, I'm not that happy. You are. I'm a Nate Wiggins guy.
Right.
But it wouldn't ruin my day. Day two, I'm walking out with my head. I'm happy. I'm happy. Day three, where's the rest? The rest. I know I'd be excited. I'd be excited, especially because we got Luke and Ladd. Who knows what kind of magic could happen there? So,
well, imagine AJ Brown and Devontae Smith go down for a couple of games. It's just a fucking Luke and Ladd show.
I'll throw Coop in there too, man.
Ladd Mick Conkey and fucking Luke McCaffrey.
It's the mix show.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with this. And I'm definitely going to use this one as my my mock draft article. Thank you. So content.
This is not a bad draft at all. For no means.
On a grading scale, what would you give this?
I would definitely give this the minimum would be a B plus. The minimum would be B plus, and I think that's a good spot for it right now.
I think as far as like options, I think I'd give it an A minus. I would. It'd be an A if we got Nate Wiggins, but it is what it is. We can't get everything we want. I think if we get Nate Wiggins, I think if we could throw in a Johnny Wilson in there, I think we throw in Xavier Legette. I think we
Chase's guys.
Yeah, I think if we swap out Coop for Nate, Ladd for maybe Edge, we throw in Xavier Legette for Junior Colson, and then a Johnny Wilson somewhere instead of Luke McCaffrey. I think we're looking at an A plus draft. Like we come away winners. But that's just me. I think also I like what's his name, Bullard from Georgia.
Javon.
I think if we can somehow get him there.
I think I read something that the Eagles were pretty interested in him.
I'm pretty interested in him. I think he's somebody that could contribute on special teams and then eventually could turn into a star down the road. And I think Vic Fangio
Blankenship replacement.
Yes. For those of you who are listening, long-time listeners, if she likes him, I have some bad news. I've changed the way I feel about Reed Blankenship. I think that he's cool. I don't think he's anything else but cool. I think you have him on the team, it's like cool, whatever. I'm not a fan like I used to be. I think that he's just an average guy who can dance a little bit and he can move and groove. But I think that he made a lot of mistakes last year. I think that the reason why he was undrafted is showing up sometimes. I think he's exceeded expectations for sure, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, this draft definitely isn't realistic for Howie. I think there's a trade. There is a trade here and there that will give us more picks in the middle rounds. I don't think we will keep 50 and 53 unless it makes me sad because I think you could get
two starters from that spot.
Yeah. I think you could get wide receiver, linebacker, or offensive line, linebacker, edge, linebacker. You could get somebody.
Whatever you do, you have to put a fucking linebacker in either one of these picks.
Yeah,
that has to be there.
And then you could also save Jeremiah Trotter for like the 3rd round, 4th round if he drops that far. So I don't know. We'll see. But we'll do one last little mock draft. We'll do a 1 round, 1st round only, 1 round. You know the rules. We'll draft. Try to create a mock draft for night 1. So I was talking to my coworker today, and I said there is a world where the Bears pick Drake May. I think there is a world where they skip Caleb Williams for Drake May. However, I think that world is pretty far away, but it's there. It's a possibility. I give it like a 0.5% chance that it happens. I think Caleb Williams he's an awesome athlete. I think he's a great quarterback, but I think he's missing the things that separate good quarterbacks from being like all time and great quarterbacks. I think if you look at his skills, yes, I think if you look at his skill set, he can be up there with like a Patrick Mahomes. That's by comparison, but it's like you see him crying in his mama's arms. You see him like just crying and complaining and just his body language on the sidelines. And then now the draft has come around. He's like,
he skipped out on a bunch of draft processes to go somewhere with his girlfriend. And I mean, come on, like, bro, you're doing a lot of things that. Let me tell you right now, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, and Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, they would not stand for these fucking antics, and they would be disgraced about just like the amount of work that these Hall of Fame quarterbacks that you hear them, the amount of work that they've put in to get to where they have been, the countless amounts of fucking film study and eat, sleep, and breathe football. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, let me tell you right now, Patrick Mahomes has not won 3 fucking Super Bowls just off sheer talent. I'm sure that dude, when it comes football season, motherfucker's strictly business. And I just don't see it with Caleb Williams. I see to me,
he's not serious. He's not serious about like he's like, I'm good at football, and that's going to take me everywhere I need to go. But like, there is so much more to football than just being good at it. You got to be able to lead a team. You're a quarterback.
Yeah.
And so
this team is about to invest one of their biggest assets and probably one of their biggest picks in this franchise's recent history on you, and you're doing absolutely nothing to help that team out right now to make them feel comfortable with picking you.
Yeah, but we kind of shown him enough. But like, I'm
sounding like a fucking hater, and I really don't mean to sound like that. But I'm just saying it for what I see it as. He's got the fucking talent. There's no doubt about that. The kid is an excellent fucking football player.
Just up here. It's up here.
Yeah.
I think the thing, this is the last negative thing I'll say about him. I think whenever he has a bad game, I think he doesn't let it go. Or if a bad play happens, he doesn't let it go. It stays in his head. You can't be like that. You got to move on to the next play. It's play by play. That play happens, good or bad, it's gone. You can't change it. It happened. And I don't see that in him. But it is what it is. He's the most talented quarterback in this class. The Bears need a quarterback. Caleb Williams, you are a Bear. Number 2, the Commanders. It sucks whenever a division rival is a high pick because you know they want to get a good player. And it sucks whenever the quarterback could have been a number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they go Drake May. I know there's talk of maybe Jaden Daniels, but I don't see it.
I've also heard Jaden Daniels doesn't want to go there.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Express that he doesn't want to go to Washington.
To be fair, if I am a draft prospect, I don't want to go there. Right. Have you seen what they did to Sean Taylor's statue? They put coat hangers together and made some type of art.
And put some soccer cleats on him, and it's not Sean Taylor.
Yes, they did that. I forgot about the soccer cleats. They did put the soccer cleats on there. I remember looking at it. I was just staring at it. I was like, this is it. Can you imagine that outrage if like what happened to him after Brian Dawkins and that's what the Eagles did? They were like, here's the coat hanger. Look at it. Hey, Ain't she beautiful? But I mean, I don't want to go there. The stadium's trash. The organization's still trash. It reeks. It may be going the right direction, but it still reeks.
To be fair, I think Josh Harris has done a much better job than fucking what Dan Snyder has done.
Yeah.
I'll give him his flowers for that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go Drake May here. Drake May, I think talent wise, I think he might be just a notch below Caleb Williams. But one thing that Drake May does really well, and I mean he does really well, is he puts the ball tight windows. He's got it. He does have it. It is a beautiful thing. But
it's almost like an art watching him throw the football, man. It really is.
It is. He's also great. And I feel bad because we didn't give Caleb Williams this much props. Let me backtrack. Let me backtrack to Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is a great playmaker, right? He's great. He has a great. He's good with protecting the ball. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He's great at maneuvering around the pocket. He's awesome at that. He's great whenever the pocket collapses. He gets out. He's able to make plays. The only problem with him, which is a lot of problems with young quarterbacks, is how many reads does he get in before he abandons the play altogether? That's just one thing. He will take a lot of sacks, trying to make plays happen in the pocket. But Caleb Williams is great. If you give him a clean pocket, he's going to make a play. But that's backtracking because I didn't want to just shit on him and then move on to Drake May.
Right.
But back to Drake May. Elite arm, I think. I think he has elite arm. I think whenever you look at him, I think he misses. I feel like easy throws sometimes. Like it's like, what are you doing? And because he'll have a great game, he'll be on fire and everything's clicking, and then he'll just be like, he'll just miss, and it's like, you serious?
Yeah, How did you miss that one? Out of all the throws that you've made this entire game, you missed this one, and I don't know.
He also doesn't handle pressure too well.
He gets flustered. He gets happy feet.
Yeah. You get your big dogs on them. You have them pin their ears back and just collapse a pocket. There's going to be some bad games. I feel like this is a mental thing that can be fixed. And I think once it is fixed, if it gets fixed, I think you're looking at a very good quarterback in the future. Anything you like to add?
I love Drake May. He's been good for a long time. People have known that he's been good for a long time. Even when he sat behind Sam Howell for a little bit, they knew Drake May was going to be a really good player when he finally got his chance in North Carolina. It just sucks that, like you said earlier, Washington is getting a potential really, really good player here. And I'm excited for Drake May. I hope he succeeds. I hope Caleb Williams succeeds. I just I don't know. I think Drake May has the makeup of an NFL quarterback.
Yep.
A very successful one. Because there's not a throw that this kid can't make. I don't think.
There's just random misses there here and there. And I think it might be a concentration thing, or, sometimes whenever I'm feeling good, I'm feeling hot, I get cocky and I just forget my mechanics that got me there. Especially, I don't want to say golf because I just got back into golf, but like I hit a couple shots good in a row. I'm flushing those bad boys, and then my next shot, straight in the dirt, ball rolls 5 feet. Because I forget what got me there, and I feel like you get that with Drake May. But great pick. I hate it because the Commanders get it. Wesley, congratulations, buddy. You got yourself a quarterback. Number three could go a couple different ways. I'm leading Jaden Daniels. I am. And I think Marvin Harrison falls a little further than we think and what he wants to. So I'm going to go Jaden Daniels here. What about you? What do you think?
We can rock with Jaden Daniels. I actually think this pick is going to be traded. That's just my personal opinion. I think either New York or Minnesota moves up for this pick and takes one, either Jaden Daniels or JJ McCarthy. But that's just my thought process of it. But for this sake and for not doing any trades in this, we'll rock with Jaden Daniels.
Yep. Some of the knocks on Jaden Daniels is he takes so many sacks. He's very explosive though, so it's definitely a boomer bust type guy when it comes to the pocket breaking down.
Another one of his knocks is he's only had one really year of really good production, I guess you could say. Yep. And another thing is, like with him and Michael Penix, their offenses that they've played in didn't ask them to throw over the middle of the field a lot. So a lot of teams don't know if they can do that successfully and throw with anticipation and throw in tight windows just because they wasn't really asked to do it. Not saying they ain't got the arm strength to do it, but they just were never really asked to.
Yeah, but that's like college now. You know, that's basically what college football is now. It's just nobody throws over the middle anymore.
Yep.
But I do agree with you. I think if this gets traded back, or the Patriots trade back, who you think could move up here?
Definitely. I got my eyes on that number 6 right there.
Yep.
New York Giants. That would suck because we would have 2 new quarterbacks coming in. To be fair, I don't think they take. The talks have gotten a lot more inclusive about the Giants moving up. Dustin, I hope you're listening. Talking about your team now. They for some reason they want to move up, and they're so committed to Daniel Jones right now. It wouldn't really make sense for them to move up and take quarterback just because of how financially they're committed to Daniel Jones. Because you'd be paying a lot of money for somebody sitting on the bench. Because let's be fair here. Whatever quarterback they take right there is beating out Daniel Jones. So I could see them moving up, but my eyes are on Minnesota as well. Maybe packaging those 2 first-round picks that they got, moving up to take their quarterback of the future, because Sam Darnold is just not going to cut it, and that's going to piss off Justin Jefferson.
Well, there's also talks that Minnesota loves old JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
See here. So,
which, to be fair, I don't think they would have to move up to get him.
Nope.
But in their eyes, they might have to. I don't know. Unless New York's kind of barking at that and saying, if you don't move up, we're going to take JJ. We're going to see how in love you really are with him.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch. Because I wonder how much they do love him. I wonder. To
be fair, I'm going to say this in JJ's defense. I don't think he's a bad quarterback.
I don't think he is either.
I think he was just in an offense that is bad for quarterbacks.
Yeah. Just put him in an offense that has an elite running back, and he'll be fine. He'll shine. Yeah. The Cardinals at number 4. Marvin Harrison's there, and I feel like that is the pick. It wouldn't surprise me if they go Joe Alt, though.
You think so?
Yeah. I think Joe Alt just almost too good to pass up, but so is Marvin Harrison. And so is Malik Neighbors. You know, you got everything. This would be awesome for the Cardinals. If you're a Cardinals fan, you're excited because you don't need a quarterback. You might not be sold on Kyler, but you don't need a quarterback. So the first 3 players off the board are quarterbacks. So now you have everybody else. You got Marvin Harrison, you got Joe Alt, you got Malik Neighbors, you got Brock Bowers if you want. the top tight end. So you're going to get the top player at their position. Marvin Harrison would be scary. Imagine Marvin Harrison and D-Hop. Oh, wait, they got rid of him. So,
Who knows?
Holly,
Marvin Harrison may fall all the way to Tennessee.
yeah, good. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. But I'm gonna go Marvin Harrison Jr. here.
That breaks something to me. If any of the prospects you see on that board right now, besides McCarthy, if they start dropping, if you're Harry Roseman, are you fucking ringing phones at all? Like trying to get up to go get one of these?
I think here, no. And I want to say the Brock Bowers thing that I was talking about, I don't think you trade up for Brock Bowers. I don't think that tight end. No, I understand. But tight end is not like the need, right? Let's say we trade up for Brock Bowers. We're giving up our first, probably maybe a second or a third. We don't have a third. Oh, wait. So it's got to be a second. Oh, so that sucks to give up a lot for a tight end. Yeah. However, it'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? It'd be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool. Yeah. We'd have the best offense on paper for sure. But I'm gonna go Marvin Harrison here. I think he's probably the best player in this draft. But unfortunately for him, the first three teams need a quarterback, and I think that's where they are headed. Now,
you know what's crazy here? This is actually in the mock that I sent you the first round the other day. I actually had Joe Alt sliding a little bit just because I think these teams' needs, where he's going to be at, might be increasingly like they have needs more than offensive line. Like in my immediate thought right here with this pick, I thought, well, they have Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt's a left tackle. I mean, he plays left tackle. Rashawn Slater's over there at left tackle. I wouldn't see them drafting Joe Alt to slide him at right tackle. I mean,
they could.
They definitely could, but you're drafting Joe Alt to be your franchise left tackle because that's what I mean. Joe Alt is that good of a player, but man, they just got rid of Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Gerald Everett's gone too. I mean, that offense has nobody.
Let me say this: the Chargers are in trouble. They are in trouble.
A lot of trouble.
And I have been put on record saying that I don't think Justin Herbert is as great as some of you make him out to be. I really don't see why you guys think it. I know you guys can show me all the stats you want, all the accolades you want.
Show me.
I don't care. Yeah, show me what counts. You know, and so yeah,
in my mind, you got to get him a weapon here.
And who better than Malik Neighbors?
There's actually, have you been following the talk of like he might be the better prospect?
Yep.
I've
actually seen mock drafts where he goes before him. So
that'd be crazy. That'd be a little wild.
It would be because Marvin Harrison came into this draft just the guy, and then
to me he still is the guy. He is to me like. When we talked about the top 10 receivers, I went out on the record and said, if you're going to give out a gold jacket to somebody right now, he would be my top option for that.
I think he's either, if I were to have my big board out and I didn't make a big board like I wanted to, I think he'd be number 2 or number 3 player in this draft. So if I'm a Chargers fan, I'm happy because if Marvin Harrison goes off the board, you still got Malik Neighbors, you got Joe Alt, you're not drafting JD McCarthy, you got Brock Bowers, and you got Dallas Turner, all still number 1 or 1A or 1B in their position. So you want to go playmaker for him?
Yep, we need to go playmaker here. Congratulations, right. Justin Herbert. You got another. Well, you got a young playmaker now. Your other ones were kind of old.
Yeah. All right, the Giants. On here, it says their team needs are wide receiver, cornerback, running back, off the tackle and safety. There's not a safety here to pick for sure. There's an offensive tackle. You're not picking running back in this class and as a 6th pick. There's no Bijan here. Cornerback, you could if you wanted to. And then the top 2 wide receivers just came off the board.
If you take a running back, I'm fucking laughing at you.
Yeah, the best running back according to this website is Trey Benson, and he is the 43rd ranked prospect. So that's probably not going to happen. I think Joe Alt here is a safe pick. I think that's the one that makes the most sense, especially in the 6th spot. Because I think
this is tough though. Rome, Odunze's there, but man, like you're saying, I think Joe Alt might be too good of a prospect to pass up on.
Yeah. And if you want to give your franchise quarterback an opportunity, you need to give him somebody. You need to give him a bodyguard, and Joe Alt's just that. I think. I mean, 6'8", 321 will get the job done. It'll get the job done.
Yeah.
So I'd say this is almost a no brainer for
that
me.
Just say he's a former tight end.
It did. So hello, Jason Peters. So, I mean, imagine a 6'8" tight end. You can imagine them because there are some of it out there, but I don't know, man. I think Joe Alt is the guy here.
Right.
And I'm happy with that pick if I'm the Giants.
Yep.
All right. Titans at 7. You need a tackle. The top prospect, according to Pro Football Network right now that's available, is a tackle. I'm not. How do you pronounce his name again?
I couldn't tell you. I butcher it every time.
Fashanu.
Yeah.
That's yeah. He's on there. They need a cornerback. You could draft a cornerback here. Linebacker, there's not one available right now that would be top 10 worthy. Wide receiver,
have a high enough pick in the 2nd round though to go get a good one.
They do. Wide receiver, you got Rome down there, just roaming. And then D tackle, there isn't one just yet that I think you'd be comfortable taking right now. So I think Fashanu. I'm just gonna say it like I know the guy, because I'm not good with pronunciations. I just think I did it. I think I hit that. So we'll take him. Titans fans, be happy. You get another.
To be fair, I think we need to give some credit to the Titans because I think they have actually improved their team a lot this offseason. They lost some good pieces. Aziz Al-Shaair, they lost. I was really high on him. God, I wanted the Eagles to get him so badly.
Me too. But we you know who he ended up with? Devin White.
Yeah. Woohoo. But I just wanted to shout out to any Titans fans that may stumble across this. You guys have put together a really nice team, I think. You guys might be a sleeper team this year.
Yep, man. Who knows? With Will Levis, he could take that step. Next step.
I like Will Levis a lot.
I don't like the way he drinks coffee. All right. Number 8, we got Bryce has left the party, but he'll be back. I'm sure of it. But for now, I'll keep the party going. Number 8, we have the Falcons. Here's where I think an edge rusher could go off the board here. I do think that it is the most likely scenario. The Falcons definitely aren't taking a quarterback here, that Kirk Cousins, unless they just really wanted to develop a guy. JJ McCarthy's there for it, but I don't think that he goes here. According to Pro Football Network, and everything that I say when it comes to team needs will be based on this website. This kind of a reference point for me. They need an edge, cornerback, wide receiver, D tackle, safety. We're still in the top 10, so D tackle, is not going to be an option here to me. Safety, same thing. Not a good enough safety in the first round, really. There's not one that I would pick. Wide receiver, you got Rome still roaming around. And then cornerback, you got Terrion Arnold right there. But I do think that the Falcons will ultimately end up with Dallas Turner here. And maybe Bryce can tell me if he agrees or not. Go ahead and switch your mic to your mic. But while Bryce figures that out, I think that's where they're going to go because nothing else really makes sense here unless they're really in love with Terrion Arnold here. All right, we're good. We're back. Bryce is back, everybody. I wish I had the clap sound. Do I have it? I don't have the clap sound. Sorry.
Dallas Turner is the pick here at 8. My computer is dying and my cord here is apparently unreliable on my laptop while it's doing stuff. So we're gonna have to speed this process up, boys.
If it doesn't, I'll make do. The Bears here, their second pick. I think that they could also go edge here with Latu. But they could also easily go wide receiver here to pair Caleb Williams up with a young wide receiver. What do you think?
I think it's Rome. I think Rome might be the move here. Brock Bowers could be in play too, but I don't know. I think the Bears want to pair him with a young receiver. I also see this as a trade back option just because the Bears have absolutely no picks in this draft, really.
Yeah. I'm cool with Rome. I think this is what people have been talking about, is giving a nice new toy for Caleb Williams. So, or Drake May, who knows? The Jets. Now the Jets, there was a report they wanted to get a big 3. They want to get one of the bigger wide receivers in this class. They want to stack them next to Garrett Wilson. Unfortunately for them, in this draft, they're gone. So now your next best wide receiver, Brian Thomas. Not a bad guy, not a bad choice, but definitely not where Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison are. What do you think they're going to do here? I think Brock Bowers could go here. I think this is where Brock Bowers goes.
I agree. In my previous mock, this is where I had him going. They need a tight end, man, and they also need a playmaker with the ball in their hands. So what better option than that than probably the best playmaking tight end that we've seen in the past couple of years in Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers is the pick at number 10, number 11. Their guys there, the Vikings. Will they take J.J. McCarthy? They need a quarterback. They need somebody to save that franchise or take it down the toilet. I think J.J. McCarthy is that guy, but just remember that their quarterback selection here can determine if they keep Justin Jefferson for the long haul.
Yep.
I think if you give him a crappy quarterback, you're going to watch him go bye-bye, and then that's going to suck. But I think the pick here is J.J. McCarthy. I don't think it's a terrible pick at all. I think it's a good pick. I like J.J., just like you said. It's just a matter of if the offense will help him. So we'll go J.J. here. Right. The Broncos, they need a quarterback. They're mad. J.J.'s gone.
They are upset.
They're mad. I mean, the next quarterback is, I think, Michael Penix, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But at this point, picking him at 12, is it a reach, you say? Probably. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, probably. But, man, I just think they need a quarterback so damn bad that they would be almost desperate to take one.
Because guess who's picking right after them? The desperate Raiders. They need a quarterback as well.
This is also a reason why I think this could be a good spot for the Eagles to trade up. They don't feel comfortable taking a quarterback here at 12. You're probably going to get a quarterback at 22. Not saying, and you're just banking on at that point, you're banking on the Raiders not taking one. And to be fair, I think the Raiders is going to take one, but could see a Bo Nix in the first round is all I'm saying.
So where we going? Where we going? Broncos Nation, where we going?
Man, this is tough. You know what? I'm going to throw a curveball at you. I think they take Jared Verse. Get him an edge rusher, who I think might be the best edge rusher in this class besides Dallas Turner. But
do you think they skip over?
Yeah.
All right. This is Bryce's 12-6 curveball. He is picking.
He's up at the top, though.
Yeah, I'm looking at the screen that you're seeing
Right.
it. It's just small, but I forgot I have this screen over here. So the Broncos pick Jared Verse. They're going to trade up at some point to get a quarterback. Raiders. I think the Raiders go Michael Penix here. I'm not going to lie to you. I think they go. I think our dear friend Kendall is excited about this. Because if you get both,
he's excited. He's excited. It's not Bo Nix.
Michael Penix, I think he's going to be a great quarterback. I sincerely think he'll be good. He has Devontae Adams his rookie year. Doesn't have a lot of competition besides Gardner Minshew, which Gardner Minshew is notorious for holding back rookies. Well, I mean, I guess AR got hurt, but who's always there? Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence was there too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good luck. All right.
Bidding out the guy who sleeps in a van at training camp.
Yeah. Good luck to that. All right. The Saints here. I think the Saints could easily go Leitu. Here, I think they could also. I don't know how to pronounce his name. From Morgan State. Talise, we'll call you that. That's what we're going to call you. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. And then Watanu and Mims. They're all here. The party's here.
Big boys have showed up.
Where do you think they go? You think they go offensive line?
I think this is an offensive line pick. I think this is Fuanga from Morgan State. To me, he's the next best tackle on the board. Watched a little bit of tape of him. He's got an excellent kick step. I mean, he's a big dude, but he's really light on his feet too. Big, powerful guy. Much better pass blocker than he is run blocker. I'll say that.
All right, 15. Here's where I think that the Eagles' hearts start breaking. I think Terry and Arnold goes here. Colts aren't going to trade back with us because they need a cornerback. I think Arnold goes first, and I think it's a great pick. They could also go Leitu from UCLA. I know we keep on mentioning his name, but he's getting passed up. Where are you leaning?
It's one of them too, for sure. I'll let you make this one.
I'm going to pick Terran Arnold. That's what I'm going to pick. Now here is, I think, would be the prime. If you are a fan of Quinyon Mitchell, you want him. I think this is the team you try to make that trade with right here. I think this is the prime candidate to trade back. But for this exercise, no trades. They need a guard, a center, a linebacker, a D-tackle, cornerback. I don't think D-tackle is going yet. There's not really a guard here to pick. You could easily throw in one of those tackles to play guard for a year or so. Linebacker is not getting picked yet unless you really want to reach for edge. So it'll be cornerback here. I think cornerback, you have to go Quinyon Mitchell. If you're a Mitchell guy, you're sad. If you're not, you're okay. So we'll go Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo to the Seahawks.
This is where it gets really scary.
Yeah, this is where
this is where corners start flying off in this 6 to 18 range, or 15 to 17 range. You could see corners start flying.
Yeah, but I think I think they go wide receiver here. I think they go Brian Thomas.
Think so?
I think so. I know that you could pick these tackles here. You got Latham, Mims, and Fatano. You got that. I need a D tackle. Johnny Newton has crept up to our board now. So any of these guys could go right here. But I think they go Brian Thomas Jr. They lost Calvin Ridley. I don't know who they have now. It's hard to keep up nowadays. Everything's changing. I know they have who they have.
Christian Kirk.
Yeah, they're going Brian Thomas Jr. here. They need some people over there. All right. The Bengals. The Bengals could also go for a cornerback here.
But I think this is where Byron Murphy or Johnny Newton come off the board.
Who do you think?
I think it's going to be Byron Murphy. Sad about it, but
we don't necessarily need you right now. It's not. That's not you. It's us. It's one of those things. Here's where I think Latu goes off the board here. I think that's a fantastic pick.
I tell you what, this draft is not fucking shaping up well for the Eagles right now.
It's not. It is for me because my guys.
It's shaping up well for the people who want offensive tackle. I can tell you that.
Yeah, because they're falling. So we're gonna go. Steelers, however, they need a tackle.
This is where I think J.C. Latham comes off. If the Eagles are in love with J.C. Latham, this is the team you'd want to jump up ahead of to get.
All right, we'll go J.C. Latham to the Steelers. Can't go wrong with any of these tackles. I'm not going to lie to you. You can't go wrong. I think Mims is a little more raw than the rest of them, but once he gets his stuff together, that guy's going to be scary.
And I think this might be where he comes off the board as well.
Hey, we'll throw him off the board. That sucks. So now we're at the Eagles pick. So just to clarify, the Dolphins got Amarius Mims, tackle from Georgia. The Eagles now have the top 6, according to Pro Football Network, is Fatanu, Johnny Newton, Chop Robinson, Nate Wiggins, Oop, and then Graham Barden from Duke. So I know where I'm going.
In the sake of this one, since we took Coop in the last one, with the 22nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
Chop Robinson, edge, Penn State.
Yeah, right. Nate Wiggins, Clemson.
I do want to say this. I know there's a lot of people they're excited about Chop Robinson. They want Chop Robinson. It's a cool name. However, I think you are falling in love with more of an athlete than you are a guy that's actually like showed up on the field. Because his numbers aren't great. He's a great athlete, don't get me wrong, but he's just not the player yet. And I think if we picked him here, I would be a little upset. But we're not in this draft, at least. We're picking Nate Wiggins. So the Vikings have another pick. In the real world, they're probably not having this pick anymore. This pick's probably been traded to somebody else. But for the sake of this, they picked JJ McCarthy. So
I think they need to help him out on the offensive line.
So you're going to go?
I would go Faltanu, just for the sake of him being able to play guard and probably tackle at some point. If I'm not I still think Riley Reef is there in Minnesota, and I'm pretty sure he's getting older. Don't quote me on this, Vikings fans, if you hear this. It's just the last tackle that I can remember off the top of my head that plays for the Vikings. So I think you get younger on the offensive line. And by the way, I think Faltano, we said earlier in this podcast, I think he's going to be a good player. It's just going to take him some time.
Yeah. So we want him. Now the Cowboys are on the clock. I've seen a couple mock drafts where they actually reach, in my opinion, for edge.
I've seen that as well.
I don't think they do. I hope they don't. I can see them trading their way to him in the second round. I don't know what they have as far as second round picks go. But for my own laughter, I think they either go Graham Barton or Tyler Guyton in this. Or maybe Johnny Newton.
You got to think. Tyron Smith ain't there no more. Terrence Steele sucks. I mean, like, they don't have a lot with their tackles, if I remember correct. So to me, this would be a Tyler Guyton pick. I think Tyler Guyton could eventually be a good player. It's just he ain't there yet.
He could get there. Packers are up next. Linebacker, cornerback, guard, tackle, safety are their needs. Luckily for them, well,
it seems like a white boy pick.
Green Bay screams white boy. And no wider than, I think Coop goes here, or I do think that one of the linemen go here. What do you think? You think they want to go safety and go Coop because they project him as a safety because, you know,
racist.
The color of his skin? Or do you think they go Jackson Powers Johnson or Graham Barton?
I don't know, man. I think they need some safety help pretty badly.
Cool. Coop is there. He's a safety. All right, Bucks. We're wrapping this up. We're 26. Got 6 more picks to go. The Bucks need an edge, a cornerback, a center, a guard, and a wide receiver. I think AD Mitchell could go here. I think he could. I think he could. It might be a little bit of a reach, but I think he could. I think Xavier Worthy could sneak in here, depending on how you feel about him, because that 40 time made him a couple million. But I also don't like how Johnny Newton has fallen.
Right.
But they don't really need him. So
right. This is the Chop Robinson pick to me. I've mocked him to them before. I've seen a lot of mocks with him going there, but to me, that's definitely the Chop Robinson spot for me.
If only they were like, never mind. The Cardinals, they're up here. They're picking
this is
again.
The Johnny Newton pick. To be fair, I don't think Johnny Newton ever falls this far, but
in this draft, he did. Yeah. And to those people who are draft guys, who we don't care. This is our draft. This is how this is how we picture it. We're going to come back to this draft, and we're going to be right on like 30 of 32. The ones probably get wrong are the Eagles and probably the Cowboys, more than likely. The Bills here, I think that you think so.
Yeah,
oh, they need a wide receiver, don't they?
No,
they
need
one. Great player.
I love AD Mitchell. I love AD Mitchell. To me, he's T. Higgins' twin for some reason, but I think AD Mitchell's going to be a fantastic fucking player.
If you're watching on YouTube, you saw the way my face lit up and my smile whenever I said his name. So you know how I feel about him. Now the Lions. Now Hunter, the guy who joined us for the Combine episode, he wants Coop. He wants him bad. It's not happening. However, I do see a Kool-Aid that has dropped a little bit. I think that he could go here.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, the Lions need a quarterback too. I think Bo Nix could go there. I'm just saying that because I hate Jared Goff. I think he's bunts. Yeah, I don't think
they drafted him to Hooker last year.
I forgot about that. They could also go Jackson Powers Johnson if they think they can make him into a guard. Same thing with Graham Barton.
I was about to say this could be a Graham Barton pick in my eyes, but
this wouldn't be a sexy pick.
It could be the right pick though.
It could be. But I think it's Kool-Aid.
We'll go with Kool-Aid.
I think Kool-Aid goes here, and that makes you sad. That makes me kind of sad. And I think this is where Graham Barton goes. I think the Ravens.
See, if this was me, I would flip flop them Graham Barton to Detroit and Kool-Aid to Baltimore. But
hey, you got your way on the Eagles first round pick last. This is 51% my draft here. And the 49ers, they could be picking Xavier Worthy here. They could be picking Xavier Worthy or Keon Coleman.
Terrifying.
If depending on how the Brandon Ayuk thing plays out.
Right.
Now, what they could do is pick Xavier Legette. And that'd be
really upset you.
Yes, that'd make me so mad because I love Debo. I hate Debo now, but I love Debo coming out of college. I love Xavier Legette coming out of college. I'm not even a South Carolina fan. I'm a Kentucky fan. I live in South Carolina. But, I mean, come on. That's two tough runners on that team. Yeah. I think this could be my sneaky wide receiver pick because I think Brandon Ayuk is a guy that gets traded on draft night.
Think so?
Yeah, so I want to make a bold prediction.
It's kind of playing out like the AJ Brown thing, ain't it?
I'm going to say, do you think Keon Coleman? We're going to wide receiver here. I'm making the executive decision here. Do you think it's going to be Xavier Worthy or Keon Coleman? Who do you think fits their scheme the best? Or who else do we have close by? Okay, never mind. It's those two. So what do you think?
I don't know. I think they would talk themselves into a Keon Coleman more than Xavier Worthy. That's just my thinking process.
Let's be clear. Xavier Worthy skyrocketed because of his 40 time. He's a good wide receiver.
Yeah.
But his stock rose because of that 40 time. And good for him because that made you a lot of money. And Keon Coleman hurt his stock because of his 40 time. Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I think Keon Coleman goes here. And then I think, unfortunately, Xavier Worthy goes to the Chiefs.
I actually thought this is where Xavier Worthy would go.
Perfect. That is perfect. Why are you doing this? Oh. Okay, there we go. I was like, why? Tell me what the Ravens pick.
To be honest, this isn't a terrible draft. I could actually see this is how this is going to go.
Let me see if I can do this real quick. Look at the whole thing in there. Oh, sorry, I messed. Voila. There is our official, the Linc Lineup's official 2023 or 2024.
Been a long podcast.
NFL mock drafts. First round only. I think that we want to keep track of this on draft night. It's only 2 nights away. The best. Man. I am too. This is to me the turning point in the NFL's offseason. This is where things start speeding up. You have free agency, but nothing really happens, right? They're doing voluntary workouts, but nobody's there, nobody's watching. But now the rookies get drafted. You got the rookies training camps. You got OTAs coming up. You got all this stuff happening. We're only 4 months away from football. 4.5 from meaningful football. And what a time it is, man. It's going to fly by. It's going to fly by so much. And this is the exciting time. Everybody thinks they're going to win, besides Carolina. My friends are Carolina Panthers fans. They have no hope. They actually don't have a pick here in the first round. That sucks.
That sucks, man.
Yeah. But this is the turning point in the offseason, man. This is where your team starts getting solidified as who could possibly make the 53-man roster. You kind of have an idea of the camp battles and all of that. It's just exciting time. The rookies who have worked their tail off to get to where they are, it's exciting. And we're excited to cover it on Thursday night and Friday night. We'll be here. We hope you guys are too. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a ton of fun. And, I'm excited to do this. Me and Bryce did it last year. I wasn't the best partner when it came to the draft stuff just because I didn't do my research. I was a casual draft guy. This year, not so much casual anymore. I'm more advanced. I've been watching, been reading, been learning. Next year, it'll be even better. So every year, we're taking another step in the right direction. And I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about it.
Josh will be back on Thursday. He'll be here with us.
Josh Josh will be here on Thursday. He'll be hanging out with us. He is definitely the more casual guy when it comes to draft, but he knows more than you would think he does. So I'm excited to have him.
He probably knows more than 75% of NFL fans.
Yes. I'm just excited to hang out with my boys and people who tune in.
Beers might be flowing.
I can't guarantee that for me. Friday night, if I didn't work Saturday, I would, but we're not there, so it'll be okay. But this has been a very long, but I feel like informative podcast. We had no intention of making this 2 hours. I had every intention of making this an hour, if that, but we doubled it. But it was a good show. It was a good show, and if you stuck around this long,
much needed show.
Thank you. Back, absolutely much needed because we've been slacking off. But yeah, like I said before at the beginning of the show, if you are watching on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend about us. Listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from. Please leave us a rating, review, like us, comment. No, you can't comment, but like us, subscribe to us, follow us, wherever it is that you do there. Then, as always, follow us on all socials. Follow me at Cardiac Chase. Follow Bryce at I am Bryce Haynes. Follow Josh at the Pre2. Follow the show at the Linc Lineup. Everywhere. We will be live Thursday night on all the socials. Getting ready for a fun, hopefully exciting night for Eagles fans and for fans all around. If you aren't an Eagles fan, we invite you to join us because it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And
not just Eagles fans. Come join us.
Yeah. It's
going to be fun.
Talk
good about your team. We may shit on them.
Yeah. If you pick somebody stupid in the first couple picks,
I'm going to let you know about it.
We'll let you know. But we'll be honest. Even when the Eagles come up with the pick, might be a lot of coping if we pick a tackle. But that'll do it. Thank you guys again for watching. Thank you to BetOnline. BetOnline has if I'm not mistaken, I got a text from them before the show started that said they are doing a free entry for a mock draft and draft props challenge. That was a mouthful for me. So I'm assuming, I haven't looked into it. I'm assuming whoever has the best mock as far as accuracy will be winning $20,000.
Shit, I might jump on that.
Yep. So check it out. Use the link if you do want to join. If you like what they're doing, we'll leave a link in our description below. Shout out to Rogue Energy as well. If you need good, clean energy, if you're a gamer or you work out, you need pre-workout, they got everything. Use the code the Linc Lineup at checkout for 10% off your purchase. We'll be giving away some of their samples, some of their tubs on the show Thursday and Friday night. Anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, man. Excited for Thursday.
Excited for Thursday. 2 days away and 2 long hours of information that you should listen to. Thank you guys for stopping by. Can't wait for the next one. And as always, go Birds.
Go Birds.